Hey guys, how you going? It's Taylor here. In today's video, I'm going to be running through a bit of a mix breakdown / production walkthrough for my Neural DSP Petrucci X demo. I've had a few requests to go through this to show you how I've mixed it. Yeah, and I'll show you a few of the production ideas that I had. I'm very much inspired by the Deftones for this one and modern day like Mood Ring and a few songs on the new Bring Me Horizon album. So yeah, we'll run through what I've done and we will get to it. Okay, to start off, I thought I would play through the whole song so you can get a refresher on how it sounds, and then we'll go through some of the production stuff and how I've mixed it. As you can hear, it's pretty much my take on a Deftones song. Yeah, I love that style of music. Been listening to it a lot lately, so this was quite easily inspired. I played all of this on my Tom DeLonge Strat tuned to drop B from memory. Yeah, pretty much just started jamming that out, and this is what I came up with. We'll start with the master bus and instrument bus, and then we'll work our way from the drums from there. So on the stereo output, I'm using flatline to limit and clip this to get it up to volume for YouTube. I'm pushing it a bit harder than I normally would because I think it warrants it. Yeah, this is a great plugin. So what I've got is I have everything routed to specific buses. So all of the production stuff goes to this VST bus. all of the drums go to the drum bus, bass bus, guitar bus, and so on and so forth, and they all come out to the instrumental bus. If there was vocals, I would not have them going through the instrumental bus. They'd be going directly to the stereo out, but there's no vocals on this, so we're good. So on the instrumental bus, I have this. I've got an instance of Soothe, the Less Mud on the Master preset, and I've tweaked it just a little bit. I found with the specific tunings and production stuff that I was adding, I was getting a bit of a build up, so this worked excellent. Soothe is really good at getting rid of problematic things. FG Red on the instrumental bus, I have this just adding some color, a little bit of compression, not too much. Let's see what we've got in the loudest part here. So as you can hear, it is just only 1 to 2 dB of compression, and it's just adding a bit of energy to the mix. Yeah, that plugin's great for that. The next thing I got going on is actually, it was a late addition to the mix. I just wanted a bit of extra width. So I've used this wave center just to push up the sides a dB. Yeah, it just helps create a little bit of width. It's not super noticeable, it's only a dB, but let's have a listen with it on and off. Yeah, it just adds a little bit of extra stereo width. And then here I have, well, what I actually did here was I had Gullfoss, my standard kind of finishing plugin. This thing's great. These are kind of my go-to settings. If I'm finding the mix is a little bit too bright, I just bring down the brightness a little bit. So yeah, what I did was I had Gullfoss on, and then I found that I was lacking a little bit in certain areas. So then I brought in this plugin here, the AMEC by the Plugin Alliance, and then I just micro tweaked what I felt like the mix was missing. So we'll go through Gullfoss first. We'll turn it on and off, see how we're going. Yeah, this thing just does everything to the mix. It's so good. And then, yeah, what I found I was missing was, so this plugin's great because you can actually auto listen. So when you are filtering out some specific frequencies, you can really dial them in by auto listening. I'll just give you an example. Yeah, so as you can hear, I felt like I was missing quite a substantial amount of low-end energy. So here's where I added it in. Keeping in mind, I did add this in before Gullfoss. So Gullfoss is probably bringing down everything to a certain degree to what I'm adding, but I found like that kind of, these two fighting against each other was able to kind of get me where I wanted to go. So I'm adding 3 dB of 54 Hertz. I'm taking away a little bit of 100 Hertz. I'm taking away a little bit of 700 Hertz. I'm taking a tiniest little bit away at 2.2K Hertz and taking a little bit away at 7K. Obviously I felt like I was just hearing some stuff that I didn't like, so we'll isolate them out and then we'll turn this on and off. As you can hear, very boxy, hissy frequencies that I was happy to get rid of. And then I wanted to add a lot of this. Just thickens it so much. Yep, so we'll just go on and off with this one. Yeah, less harsh, less boxy, and a little bit more impact in the low end. So that's what I'm doing on the instrumental bus. In terms of drum bus, we'll move to drums now. I am, again, doing something that I always do, as I've always got this Empirical Labs Distressor plugin on. And I'm using it as a bit of a parallel with a bit of a blend. And then here I've got Cymbal Smooth by Soothe. I've recently run through kind of a general approach that I have with my drum bus on a recent video. My go-to plugins for 2024. So if you want any more in depth, go over there. But yeah, this is kind of what I've done. So I've got STL Control Hub on this as well. I am using Daniel Braunstein's drum bus warm glue settings. It's doing very much what I would go to with a bunch of plugins. It's just doing it all in one, so that's great. And then I'm also doing the FG Gray SSL style compression trick that Nolly Get Good does. It's so good at just maintaining the transients of the snare. And then after that, I am limiting with this Corner Audio warm bus preset. Let's isolate the drums. The distressor is doing a lot of work. That's the sound of the drums. It is adding a lot of energy and parallel compression. It's epic. Cymbal Soothe is, we all know what it's doing. We'll then go on to these ones. Yeah, so Control Hub, just adding a little bit of glue. FG Gray, just maintaining the transients of the snare, and then limiting, just bringing up a bit of volume, helping to cut through on the mix. So what I am using for drums is, I am using One Kit Wonders Architect's Kit. Yeah, it's a great kit. This is just the go-to. I've only got this going out as a stereo instance. I'm not multiing out. So with the One Kit Wonders, I don't feel like I need to multi out all the time. If I was mixing this for a full song, not just a YouTube demo, I would probably go there. I would probably multi it out and have a bit more of a tweak with things. But I found that for this YouTube demo, completely good enough sounds just out of the box. And with a few supplementations of samples, I can kind of get where I want to go. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. And then I am using Trigger 2 to just trigger some snare and kick samples. I am just bringing down some MIDI, and then I am, triggering these. So for the snare sample, I will keep the drums in so you can hear the sample on and off in context, because samples isolated are just no good. So you need to hear it within context. So this is with the snare. So as you can hear, the Architect's snare is quite dead and just straightforward. I wanted a bit more of a new metal-y kind of ping to the snare. Yeah, with these samples here, I was able to do it. It's from the Get Good Drums Power Vaults. So I am adding 4 samples all in blend with each other. I will actually isolate here because the snare is adding quite a unique flavor. this ring stinger snare is adding exactly what I wanted. I wanted that real pingy, expansive sound. The rest is kind of adding the crackle and the wires to it. Yeah, these samples turn this snare into a dead thud, which I normally would love for my standard productions, but for this new metal Deftones style thing, I felt like there was more need for a pingy snare, so this is where we got there. Just limiting the sample, and I am using control hub. I am using a Will Putney snare crack preset. I just found that it added exactly what I wanted in terms of bringing out the harmonics of the ping, so it was unreal for that. And then for the kick, I am triggering a David Bendeth sample, the Carson City kick. It's part of his drum shots library. So as you can hear, a very boomy kick and then a very clicky kick. A little bit more of the click to cut through the mix. Let's hear that with and without. Yeah, just adds a lot more, it brings the kick a little bit more forward in the mix instead of just kind of floating in the background. Yeah, I love it. And then I am using Control Hub again. I am just kind of messing with these samples, adding like compression stuff via this, using the Lance Prince preset kick core thump. It just did exactly what I wanted. I just knew that I needed to add a little bit to these samples to help them punch through, and that is how I did it. So yeah, that's the drum mix. It's pretty much the Get Good Drums kit with a few samples just out to that bus. And yeah, I think it sounds great. These drums really, really make this mix. Yeah, so awesome. Okay, so next I will go through bass, and then we will run through guitar and production bits and pieces. So before we get into the archetype Petrucci stuff, we are going to talk about the bass. Yeah, I'm using Get Good Drums, Nolly bass. I don't spend a whole lot of time programming bass to be perfect. I kind of find that it's something I lose a lot of inspiration with. One day I'm going to get a bass, but for now I am using this. Let's just hear what it sounds like. Okay, so all my processing is happening on the bass bus. So on the bass bus, I'm using Soothe 2 to sidechain the kick into it. I saw this on the URM YouTube or Instagram. I can't remember who it was who showed this. I think it was the guy who mixed Bill Murray's album. I can't think of his name right now. I think it's Will. Yeah, so this is like the quickest way to get the kick out of the bass. Yeah, so it does its job, just subtle. It's not as crazy as normal side chains. It doesn't pump as much. It's just dipping down them frequencies. And then I am using STL Control Hub. I am using a preset by George Lever. This preset was great for what I wanted, called Gutty. Let's have a listen to it on and off. Gets rid of a lot of the mid-range, makes it more of a scoop sound. It's great. Schweppes Parallel particles, kind of worked off the preset of heavy bass and then did a few tweaks, just mainly adding sub. Sub and harmonics, that's such a great plugin. And then I'm doing something I don't typically do, but I am using this plugin by, I think it's Slate Digital. I don't know why I reached for this one, but it kind of just did everything. A bit of a multi-band compressor, exciter. Yeah, let's have a listen to what it's doing. Yeah, I found it just did a great job of grabbing all of the frequency ranges and kind of just keeping them in place so everything else can just shine around it. Then I'm just doing a little bit of limiting again with Corniff Audio. And then this plugin here, the C4, yeah, I just find, again, sometimes I really struggle with maintaining the bass, so I use this here to kind of just, yeah, not have too many build-up areas. Yeah, so it's not doing a whole lot, but that's the bass sound. Yeah, just a handful of plugins kind of adding bits and pieces to achieve a large sound. Yeah, let's have a listen to it in context now. Yeah, the bass really is adding impact here. And it just works so well with the guitar and the drums. I really like the way that this bass sounds. It's probably my favorite bass sound I've got with the Get Good Drums Nolly bass. Hey guys, it's Taylor from the future here. I'm just editing this video and it's already at 25 minutes long roughly, so I thought I would make it a two-part video. So keep an eye out for part 2 coming soon. Please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.